Hello, and welcome to Paint Yourself into the Picture, the on-air coaching show where we focus on designing our best lives and creating the best picture of our future. I'm Reba Linker, best-selling author and coach, and I'm so glad you're here. My guest today is Barry Selby, known as the love doctor to his friends and clients.
Before we get to Reba and Barry's coaching session, let's have a teaching from Coach Reba.
Hi, I'm Reba Linker, and today's teaching is about courage. I'm not sure when this segment is going to air, but it is the very first segment that we're recording for this brand new show, Paint Yourself into the Picture. And the only thing I can say is I'm glad we're recording on a Thursday, because on Monday, I was pretty much a wobbly blob of jello, kicking and screaming inside my own head and heart, going, I'm not ready. I'm not good enough yet to do this. I can't do this. And one of the teachings that I wanted to offer you first was one that involved pouring water from a pitcher of water. And I thought to myself, the fear spoke out and said, I can't do that exercise first because what if my hands are shaking too much to do it? And I have to tell you, dear audience, that I'm not afraid of you, but these were the voices inside my head, the voices of fear. And when I said that about the water, this fire came up inside me, and it said, let your hands shake and do it anyway. You've got to follow your dreams, feel the fear, and do it anyway. And then I determined, no matter if my hands are shaking, or if my voice is an octave higher than it normally is, or if I quack like a duck, whatever happens, feel the fear and do it anyway. And that's what actually is so exciting about the show. It's live, it's unscripted, and nobody knows exactly what's going to happen between me and my guests and you, my beloved audience. If I were to give in to the fear, that would be to lock myself in a prison of my own devising, a prison with walls made out of, I'm not ready yet, I'm not good enough yet. So courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is feeling the fear and doing it anyway. I want to make a very clear distinction here between feeling the fear and doing it anyway, and something that I call muscling your way through something. And that's a skill I have I've used for a long time, where I just powered through, I ignored my feelings, and just powered through it and muscled through. And that was suppressing my emotions. And when I muscled through and powered through like that, it felt like I was lugging a heavy bag behind me. I was just carrying all those unexpressed emotions behind me, and that affected everything that I did. But I thought that I had to suppress those emotions. Feeling the fear and doing it anyway is completely different. It's acknowledging what you're feeling. It's allowing those feelings to have their voice. But it is choosing to follow your dream anyway. It is choosing to follow that path that made your heart sing in the first place and say, gosh, wouldn't it be fun to have a TV show? So my gift to you today is courage. And I want to give you an exercise to help develop that courage from my best-selling book, Imagine Self-Love. It's a journal, and this exercise can be found on page 53. And it's a 3-part exercise, and I'll break it down for you. The first part is, do one brave thing. And this could be your exercise for the week. You could do it all week long or plan one brave thing. And I want to be clear that what's brave for one person is not the same as what would be brave for the person next to you. So, for example, for one person, it might take a lot of courage to go eat or go to the cinema by themselves. For the other person, it might take more courage to call up a friend, maybe a new friend, and say, hey, you want to go eat eat dinner with me or go to the movies with me. So it's very personal. It could be something big, or it could be something small. It could be just saying something that you've been afraid to say, but that you feel that you need to say. Or it could be starting a new hobby or taking a new class. So decide to do one brave thing this week. The second part of the exercise is the way in which you do it. And I want to encourage you to do it with the attitude of the scientist. I want you to do it not for the result, or that you would necessarily have a successful or unsuccessful result, but to do it more as a scientist, where you're observing how it feels when you're doing this brave thing that you've challenged yourself to do. And then last is to celebrate your action. And again, we're going to separate the result from the experience. So we're going to celebrate the fact that you did this brave thing, irregardless of the results. So this is kind of huge, and I want to stop here and pause and just ask, do you dare approve of yourself completely for this effort that you just made? Do you realize what we're doing here? We are completely changing the paradigm of our lives. We've been taught that the results are all that matter. And in this new paradigm, it is the attempt, it is the experience, it is the effort that matters. This unfolds in many, many ways. It means that you accept yourself where you are, and you accept the fact that your effort was the best that you could do at that time. So do your brave thing, observe the experience, and last but certainly not least, approve and reward yourself for doing that brave thing, whether or not you'd want to do it ever again.
Hi, I'm so excited to welcome you back to the show today, and we've got a great one for you. My guest today, Barry Selby, aka The Love Doctor, is a professional speaker, #1 best-selling author, and relationship transformation expert. He empowers his clients to create conscious, passionate, and deep relationships. His heart and passion is empowering successful single women to embrace and own their authentic feminine power and attract their true equal in loving relationship. Welcome to the show, Barry. It's so great to have you here.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
Great. I wanted to start with just an intention setting. So I want you to take a moment and just get quiet and grounded within yourself and declare an intention for our time together. And the intention I'd like to be twofold. One would be your intention in terms of something, maybe a physical issue that you're dealing with or a challenge. And the second part being the emotional intention of what you need emotionally to help you fulfill that challenge or face that issue.
Okay. Okay, I think I've got it.
Go ahead, and if you'd like to share with us, that would be great.
Well, it's a bit of a slow start this year. I think really my physical intention is to have a lot more clients, also a lot more success, and a lot more, what's I'm looking for? It's having impact, maybe the word impact in the world with clients, with an audience. And the feeling goes along with that is a sense of fulfillment and of giving, like feeling my heart being full from overflow from giving and serving. It's a blend of those two.
So that's the feeling that you want more of in your goal.
It's fulfillment of being fulfilled because I can see the results in my clients and see the impact in the world, and also a sense of my heart being full from giving through that avenue.
Right. And thank you for sharing it. And before we go further, I just want to take a moment, and I really want to do this with every guest, and you of course included in that, is just to thank you for being here, because I just want to really acknowledge the strength and the courage that it takes in coming onto a coaching show on air and showing your vulnerability. And I just wanted to be very clear. I think we know that, and you're a coach, so I think you really do know the strength and vulnerability and how important that is in relationship, of course. But for everybody who's listening, to really acknowledge you for allowing that strength to say, I'm here asking for help with these issues. We all have them, but not everybody's brave enough to say, hey, this one is mine, this is the one I'm dealing with at the moment. So I just want to tip my invisible hat to you. I should be wearing
Well, the truth, and thank you for that. What I also learned for a long time is that a coach that isn't coachable won't be a very good coach. So I guess I didn't realize I was doing it without thinking, which I'm grateful for. Because it gave me a place where I can say thank you. So thank you.
Absolutely. You're totally modeling, I think, probably what you ask your clients to also model in their relationships. And you're doing it in a safe environment, which I'm sure is also what you encourage them to do, is to have to be emotionally safe. So this is a safe environment, and my intention is to help you from what I know, but also to be a vessel for maybe a message to come through for you that's going to open up your career to the level that you want to see it at. And let me ask you, what do you think is your biggest challenge or obstacle in just getting the clients and creating I see you wanting a far greater reach. What would be your biggest challenge or obstacle in that?
You pick those good questions, don't you? There's two-pronged approach I'm feeling, because one is the individual clients, so it's meeting, connecting with, and signing up, if you want to say the right word, those individuals who want to work with me. But at the same time, there's a sense that and it's something about large audience, where it's live event or television or something that's going to be a bigger impact in a bigger moment. So rather than one-on-one, not that I want to focus on one or the other, but there's a sense that there's a pull this year for me to be much more active in front of a bigger live interactive audience. And whether it's online or television or in person, I'm not sure which yet, but it's feeling that these are the two different things I'm leaning into or feeling pulled toward.
So let's look at the bigger picture one, the larger audience one, since I know you have clients and you've been on that road, and I think that the greater visibility, I think there's a logic there of you're going to be more visible in greater forums, and that's going to bring you more clients.
Yes.
Ideally speaking. So let's just look at that, and why don't you answer the question then in terms of that? Like, what would be your greatest, what do you see as gosh, if only I could, and then it would work so well. What's that challenge or that obstacle that is maybe in front of you right now in terms of creating that?
I'd say most of it's logistical, because I don't have a challenge in the sense of being comfortable or being able to speak in front of an audience. That isn't the challenge. It's finding the audiences or finding the right people who have audiences that I can speak to their groups. It's whether it's the network or it's the leads, the connections, those pieces of the puzzle that give me access to people who want to hear what I have to say. That's probably where most of that difficulty, challenge, block is.
Okay, so you're just having a very logistical challenge. Well, then let me just give you the name of Women's Speakers Association.
It's easy. I mean, okay, there's probably more than that going on. I can look in the phone book for that stuff. So yeah,
so if there's more, I'm here for you now.
It's trusting that my message is worthwhile being heard by audiences that big. There's a part of that going on, and also feeling comfortable and confident in what I'm saying, that those women who are leading those groups and those speakers who are leading those groups will want to hear from me, and that my information has value, and that who I am, they want to put in front of their audiences. That's probably the big piece.
Wow. Okay. So yeah, that's really interesting. Those things, it's all self-love. So I would definitely, you beef up your self-love reflex, which is, beyond the shadow of a doubt that you have what to offer. There's no question in my mind. Now, this is, of course, always a problem for coaches, as you probably know. It's like, I see how beautiful you are. I see how talented you are. I see how much your message is needed. And I think that it helps to know that maybe your message isn't needed by everybody, but there's certainly a large segment of the audience, of the world, that needs your message. Like, we're not there to help each and every person in the world. Right. I can help certain people because I've had certain issues myself in my own life, so I've had to work on those. So those are the people I can help.
Yeah. So I can't help everybody. I know that.
Exactly. So I think with that is, the flip side is that you can help some people.
Yes.
So, and so, there's that part of it in terms of what would help you understand that.
It's almost tied to my outward success and my. It's almost like, and being a coach is really annoying to say this way because I know exactly what I'm doing wrong, in quotes.
Don't worry about it. I'll see different things anyway, so don't worry about it.
I appreciate that, yeah. There's a distinct tie-in between outside results, the impact I've had, smiling clients, past audiences have seen me, that almost I need to have is right in front in my vision to know that I can keep going.
Okay, this is really interesting because you're almost saying, like, I can't be successful until I've been successful.
Exactly the problem I know I face.
And the problem with that, I can put it in a different way that I think is going to be really helpful for you. Okay. The problem with that is your success is within yourself. And the problem with what you've got set up is that you're like a little bit of an addict where you need it from outside. Excuse the harsh words. I don't mean to push any buttons.
I don't have that. That's not an issue for me. But yeah, I understand what you mean, though. It is that.
So, but I should be more careful with the language here. But it's almost like saying, I need the approval and the, what I can get from outside myself in order to validate myself. And I have to say I've been there with you. I've lived my life like that because that's what I was taught, was that I had to chase these externals of success and that they would give me that good feeling that I was looking for. So,
well, just a great reflection, because I've had several careers before this. And in some of the careers, I just had a flashback when I was in the graphic design printing industry, which is one of my many careers. There was something about seeing the finished product that was always more fulfilling than what I was doing on the computer before that. So I can see there was probably some programming, or at least a preference where I like to see the end result done, and I could see tangible results.
Yes. Yeah, and I totally get that. It's really wonderful to that moment where you're in front of the audience and they're applauding and you feel their love because they're thanking you for sharing your wisdom and that you gave them maybe some piece of information that is going to change their life. So I totally acknowledge how important that is. That's a really important part of what you're doing. So it's not to take away from that, but it's to maybe for your sake, because that's still going to happen. Yeah. But for your sake, to redirect your focus. This is really, I'll just share a little bit about why I call this show
Paint Yourself into the Picture. I'm writing a new book called Paint Yourself into the Picture, and it's based on the experience I had. I opened a large dance studio, and I'm a creative type of person. So I was like, I want to open a studio, I'll have these programs, I'll have these systems. It just was like, I was so excited about everything that was going to happen that I built the studio. It was wonderful. But 5 years later, I realized that I hadn't really planned my role completely. I was so excited about what I wanted to have happen. In other words, the external, the results.
Right.
That it was almost like I was a juggler, and I was running around, I was getting all the plates to spin, but I didn't think ahead to say, well, you have to be that person running around,
right.
They're running from plate to plate, keeping everything from crashing down. So
Yes.
I devised a program called Paint Yourself into the Picture, which is to help you move into your next life chapter. So I want you to take a moment and picture what it's going to be like. You are a successful speaker. You have speaking engagements. We're not worried about them. I think you're going to get them. I don't think it's really a cause for great worry, but you can get them, and I'll give you some homework so that you can, go and get them this week and next week and this month and make it happen. But there you are. I want you to tell me, what does that look like to you? What does your day look like? Are you on planes? Are you in airports? Are you in a car? Are you in hotels? Are you at home? Or are you at home sitting in front of an iPad or a telephone, an iPhone or a computer screen? What does your day look like as a world famous in-demand speaker?
So a day in the life, like an example. When you say that, what immediately comes to mind is that I'm basically I'm in the hotel, waking up, flew in the night before, and have seen in the lobby all the preparations going on and the hubbub that I used to do myself, and I'm loving.
Difficult here. I missed you. You're in the hotel and you've seen the lobby.
Oh, sorry, I was in. Can you hear me better now? I'm not sure what happened there.
I can hear you. You just cut out for a second. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm at the hotel. I arrived the night before, and I've already gone down from the hotel room to the lobby to the ballroom where the event is, and checked in with the team. They know I'm there, all the logistics taken care of, and I'm looking around and just seeing all the people showing up, and it's a very thrilling feeling because they all came, and the great thing is, is I didn't have to do any of it. I'm there as a guest to speak and to inspire, and the great thing is, I'm not yet so known by them that I can't walk in the room without being mobbed. Because I know some people who do this work in the world have done it so long and so known that they can't even get to the stage without being mobbed. And that for me isn't where I want to be just yet. That's too much. But the idea that I'm at the hotel, I walked into the lobby, walked into the ballroom where the event is happening at the back of the room, and I already know I don't as much know what I'm going to say, but I know what I'm going to say has impact. It's almost like it's in me versus I've got a script. I'm not using a script in there because I don't need to.
Right.
So I'm looking around the room. The room is full. It's a wonderful audience. I can feel the love in the room. My friend my connection is on stage, is leading the room, very happy, very enthusiastic, got the room in the palm of the hand, and is about to introduce me. And she and I have a great rapport. She's also a speaker, and we've known each other for a long time, and she loves what I talk about. And so she's really, to be honest, almost overselling me. It's kind of embarrassing, but I love it. And so she's front, and she basically welcomes me up, and I've got my wireless microphone on, and walking up stage, and there's applause going, everyone's cheering, there's music playing, and she walks on stage, and we have a big hug, and then she leads me on stage in front of the audience, and I'm just almost floored by the love that's coming from the audience. I can feel it, I can see it. And at the same time, I won't say it's a hunger, but there's a question in their hearts that they know that I've got the answer for. And so I start talking to them, and the feeling of being in the right place at the right time, doing the right thing, is almost overwhelming. That I know this is what I'm doing and what I'm supposed to be doing, and I can feel the rightness of it, or the attunement that I'm supposed to have done this a long time ago, but I'm stepping into it now. And as I'm speaking, and I feel so much coming through, almost like I've got the wings of angels behind me or something mystical, but I just feel that I'm being there to serve. And what's coming through is touching every individual heart, because there's nothing I could have prepared would have fit the audience. Nothing I could have rehearsed, because this audience is right here. It's immediate. It's this audience that has a need for what I have to share that's coming through me from the right place, so they get it, what they need to have in the first place.
You know what's interesting about your answer? Go ahead. I just want to. It's a beautiful picture, and you've really given me a very, very good picture, given yourself a very good picture of where you're going. And I have to say, you're actually a couple of steps ahead of my program.
Oops. I've done some work, what can I say?
Which is just fine. But what I want
to rewind?
No, not at all. It was great because really what you did was you went from kind of the outside. I have a thing about the external versus the internal distinction I make, and you really went from that outside and what you were getting from everybody, and sort of that love and that adulation that, of course, we all love it. You know, no shame there. So, but what I love that you did was when in the end you went to that feeling of, I know I'm doing what I'm meant to be doing, and I feel like the angels are behind me applauding, saying, you know, finally you're doing, you know,
yes.
to you know what you've been, you know, meant all along to be doing. So it's that inner peace.
Tune in next Monday at noon for the rest of Reba and Barry's coaching session and more teachings from Coach Reba. Remember, that's next Monday at noon